A sitting judge of a high court until Monday, a resignation on Tuesday, and a membership of the Bharatiya Janata Party on Thursday. 3 days is all it took Abhijit Gangopadhyay to transition from being a judge in the Calcutta High Court to becoming a politician. Some reports suggest that the former judge may contest the upcoming Lok Sabha elections on a BJP ticket. In the process, Justice Gangopadhyay joined a long list of judges who have taken the political plunge. His entry into the BJP brought an end to a rather controversial 6-year stint as a judge. He made headlines repeatedly for his actions and words both in and outside the court. Meanwhile, Justice Gangopadhyay is now at the center of a political storm in West Bengal. The ruling Trinamool Congress has accused him of working at the behest of the Bharatiya Janata Party while in office, a claim which the former judge has denied. Then there is the legal or constitutional aspect where questions have been raised on the judge's past decisions. As to what credibility do his judgments have now? Were they meant to favor one party? And this has given rise to a larger question. And that question is, can or should judges join politics? If they do, what are the ramifications it could have? Hello and welcome to Simply Put. I am Shubham Chohan. Let's get started. Okay, so for starters, who exactly is Justice Abhijit Gangopadhyay? He is a former judge of the Calcutta High Court, which he joined in 2018. He was due to retire in August 2024. In recent years, he was in the news for his confrontation with fellow judges, many a times ignoring orders of larger benches, giving an interview to a private news channel, and notably his stance on corruption and run-ins with the West Bengal government. In fact, a section of people even referred to him as a crusader and a people's judge. Now, in his political avatar, Justice Gangopadhyay says he aims to continue on the same anti-corruption path and remove what he calls a corrupt government led by Mamata Banerjee-led Trinamool Congress. Now, there is a lot of history that Justice Gangopadhyay and the Trinamool Congress share. It was in 2022 when Justice Gangopadhyay ordered a CBI probe into the alleged teachers' recruitment scam involving the Mamata Banerjee government. Basically, the case was that government teaching jobs were purportedly traded for cash. Several TMC leaders, including then Minister Partha Chatterjee, were subsequently arrested. Later in the same year, Justice Gangopadhyay gave an interview to a local news channel. In that, he openly spoke about the case and the need to investigate Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's nephew, Abhishek Banerjee. This led to the Supreme Court intervening. It said the judge had no business giving an interview about a pending case and ordered the matter to be assigned to another bench. On another occasion, the former judge reportedly said he might advise the Election Commission to cancel Trinamool Congress's party status and withdraw its logo. And then there was the most recent controversy in January, where Justice Gangopadhyay accused a fellow judge of quote-unquote acting for a political party in the state. That was after the judge stayed Justice Gangopadhyay's order of another CBI probe. This time, it was regarding an alleged scam in issuing caste certificates to candidates aspiring for reserved category MBS seats in the state. Here too, the Supreme Court had to step in and transfer all the cases to itself to avoid further confrontation. It was this controversial conduct, especially in the last couple of years of Justice Gangopadhyay, that raised eyebrows. The Trinamool Congress questioned his impartiality as a judge, with some even calling for a review of his judgments.
If we have to reassess their judgments, I would say we have to look at it on two things, right? Is the reasoning that they have provided sound, legally, constitutionally sound, right? I mean, like, to use an example in a completely different context, is this a judge who's actually trying to go by the law and the constitution? Or is this a judge who's like, I think this should be this way, I don't care. The second thing which I sort of think we should look at is what the judges do. Because that's just as important. It's not just what they say in their reasoning, but what they do. And I think part of the controversy around Justice Gangopadhyay has been what he has done, right? In the way he has said, cancel all these appointments, send these cases to CBI, do this, do that, right? When you are going to places where the judiciary generally does not go, right? I mean, if you're passing extraordinary orders like this, it should give public the confidence that you're doing it for the public. It's not that you're doing it to fulfill a particular political party agenda, right? And I think that is where the controversy comes. If I were to say that if Justice Gangopadhyay was somebody who held the state government to account, I honestly don't care if it is a TMC government or if it is a Congress government or if it is a BJP government. If you have a judge who is routinely, regularly holding the state government to account, that they worry every time about what will happen if a case goes to the, I think that's the best possible thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. What is a bad thing is if your conduct is so unjudicious that people start to think, I don't think this guy is actually behaving like a judge, right? This person's conduct seems to go far beyond what would be considered acceptable conduct on the part of a judge. That it starts bleeding back into, so were they doing this for that purpose or something else? That is where the question starts to have to look at it a little bit in the totality of circumstances. I would be very wary of taking a simplistic, oh, he's joined BJP, let's look back at all his judgments. I think what we should be careful about is if Justice Gangopadhyay has held a government accountable to its wrong actions, that doesn't mean the actions become right. This is the fine. It may sound like nitpicking, but I think it's an important point to keep in mind. If the Trinamool Congress being in power in West Bengal has done something wrong, and Justice Gangopadhyay has called out that wrongness, his lack of judicious behavior, let's say, on the bench while doing so, off the bench while doing so, and post resignation conduct doesn't make these actions right. I think that's the key the point that we have to keep in mind. And yes, I think their criticism is valid to the extent of saying he went so overboard on us in specific contexts, right? I think in the context of the teacher recruitment, if I remember correctly, there may be more other cases as well. He went so overboard on us that the Chief Justice had to take the roster out of his hands and give it to another judge, or the Supreme Court reprimanded him, or that he went on TV to give an interview about his judgment. They're right to that extent to say that look at this guy's conduct as a judge, right? But they can't say everything we did was right because those cases went before this kind of a judge.
So that was about Justice Gangopadhyay. Now let's move on to a more broader questions. Can judges join politics? After all, the former Calcutta High Court judge isn't the only one here. Now technically there are no rules that prevent judges from doing so. And there are plenty of examples. Some became Rajya Sabha MPs, some became governors, some contested elections, and some had tribunals. In 1967, then Chief Justice of India, K. Subbarao, resigned to contest the presidential elections, which he eventually lost. In 1998, another CJI, Ranganath Mishra, went to the Rajya Sabha on a Congress ticket after retirement. More recently, former Chief Justice of India, Ranjan Gogoi, was nominated to the Rajya Sabha by the Modi government in 2020, just 4 months after his retirement. Then in 2023, retired Justice S. Abdul Nasir was made the governor of Andhra Pradesh. Among earlier High Court judges, Justices A.M. Tipse, Vijay Bahuguna, Rajinder Sachar all entered active politics after retirement. Now, all in all, there is no bar on judges to become politicians or even vice versa. So if there are no rules barring judges from entering politics, what's the big deal, you may ask? You see, the judiciary is one of the most important pillars of our democracy. The judiciary, through the judges and their judgments, are expected to be free from any external pressure and be fair to everyone. Above all, safeguard the Indian Constitution. A political career immediately after quitting or retiring, like in the case of Justice Gangopadhyay, raises questions on the quality of this free and fair judgment. Meaning, questions are raised on whether these judges delivered their verdicts actually keeping the principle of justice in mind, or was it to favor one political party or a government and later get a favorable position in return. In fact, this is what Arun Jaitley, the former Finance Minister of India and a senior leader of the BJP, had said on post-retirement jobs for judges.
I think we are going a bit too far now in creating post-retirement avenues for judges. That almost everyone, barring a few notable honorable men who are an exception, wants a job after retirement, and we are lavishly creating it for them. If we don't create it, they themselves create it. I think this whole temptation of continuing to occupy a Lithian's bungalow is a very serious temptation. And therefore, kindly review that unless it's absolutely essential, either some of these tribunals must be subsumed into the judicial setup, pay the judges who have retired and retired judges a pension equal to their last drawn pay. Because the danger is greater, the desire of a post-retirement job influences pre-retirement judgments. It's a threat to the independence of judiciary.
Then there are some, like former CJI R.M. Lodha, who suggested a cooling off period of at least 2 years, like a gap between when the judges quit judiciary and take up a post-retirement job. In 2023, the Supreme Court dismissed a plea calling for a 2-year cooling period for retired judges. It said the issue be left to the quote-unquote better sense of the judge concerned. Some experts say this idea of a cooling off period should not be applied to those wanting to join political parties.
I agree with Justice Lodha to the extent that the cooling off period should be for posts under the government. So if you want to be a member of a tribunal, member of a commission, member of whatever the government is setting up, where you're getting paid by the government to do something, there should be a cooling off period for that of 2 years, whatever. I agree, fully agree. That's 100% right. Joining a political party, standing for political office, even standing for the office of president is a right of every Indian citizen. It's not constrained. It's not constrained by whether you are a judge or a bureaucrat or a good person or a bad person in life. Right? I don't think those should be restricted. I think those, you do not lose your fundamental rights as an Indian citizen just because you served for a period of time as judge. Right? As a judge, yes, there are some restrictions on your rights because it's necessary for the institution to function. But once you stop being a judge, right? Once you take that call, I don't want these benefits and this thing, you should be free to exercise all your rights. And it's a bit unfair because then tomorrow, if a judge comes out of the judiciary and says, all the things I wasn't able to say as a judge, now I want to be able to say this government is corrupt, this government is horrible, this political party is good, this political party is bad. All of us say it on a daily basis.
That's all we have for this episode of Simply Put. Do like and share the video. Tell us what you think of this topic. And of course, subscribe to HW News English for more updates. Thanks for watching.
Stay ahead with our cutting-edge news app. Instantly access the latest shorts in just 1 minute and breaking news in just 50 words. Download now for a smarter, faster news experience.
Roti Bank Foundation has served over 1.5 crore meals to needy kids. Feed a child with just ₹40. Please donate generously. Visit rotibankfoundation.org. Join hands to build a healthy India.